Well, here we are again, yet another episode of Vitality Vibes. And I'm here with Lori Lynn Spencer. She's one of the new bodyworkers here. She's not new to bodywork by any stretch of the imagination, but she's one of our new team members here at Wellspring. And I was shocked when I get an 8-page resume in my email inbox, and I'm thinking, do I have time to read this? But it's so exciting to see all the different levels of experience that Lori, that you possess and that you're willing to share with people here in the Valley. And so we want to just take some time to get to know you. I'll try not to ask too many deep private questions.
You can ask as many deep private questions as you need to.
Okay, I love that.
I'm an open book.
Well, I'd like to open the book first on what brought you into healing work.
It's a very long story. So my mother was always plagued with various pathologies, and it began with she had a meningioma brain tumor.
What kind of brain tumor? Meningioma?
A meningioma brain tumor. It inherently affects the right frontal lobe. They're typically benign, but in her case, it was still benign, but it had been growing literally forever. And I had just returned from El Salvador, where I was staying amidst healers and witch doctors.
So where are we at? What year are we at? How old are you?
I was old enough. I was pursuing my undergrad.
Okay.
With DePaul University. We were there on a missionary project. I firmly believe that was what started my whole trajectory down this path. And so when I returned, my mom was on a trip. She had fallen, but it defied physics actually, because she fell backwards instead of front. So they discovered that. The hospital was making all kinds of mistakes. I was catching them. Then she went into these various states that she was in a coma essentially.
So wait a second. You were catching the mistakes that the hospital was making as an undergrad. How are the doctors? How are the doctors responding to that?
It was interesting because when I'm in critical life-saving situations, you can't argue with me. Especially when I was my mother's advocate and medical brain. It's like, this is what we're going to do, this is what's going on, and you're going to play or something's not going to turn out well.
Wow.
So
when you say that in a Chicago accent, I'm thinking mafia, hits, all kinds of things.
Well, back in the day, no. I am Italian after all, so there's that. But no, I just intuitively started creating all these various, I was doing techniques, I was using sound healing with her, I was giving her massages daily with peppermint oil.
And this is back in the 80s?
No, it's in the late 90s.
Okay, got it.
1994.
Okay.
And she had healed, no joke, at warp speed. And the interesting thing is, because I said, Mom, do you remember anything from that period? And she said, Lori Lynn, what were you reading to me? Because I always believe people in comas are still with us.
Yes.
They just cannot communicate. So I chose out of Africa, and I would sit by her bedside and I would read out of Africa because it's one of the most imagery rich books, right?
So you were engaging her mind.
Correct.
Even though you were dealing with the subconscious.
Yes.
So in my experience, my short experience with you, and I've experienced your body work, and we can talk about that a little bit later. One of the things that I was really most concerned about you when we did our interview was, with all of this experience, why are you coming to Wellspring? Because you've worked in some top level clinics and hospital settings and integrated medicine, and I was concerned that your ego would be an issue. And that, I asked you about that.
You did.
And it has been so sweet to connect with you and to receive
you.
your healing gift and to realize that you're actually not coming from a place of ego. You're coming from a place of honesty and love. And I hope that's what I do with my work as well.
You do.
But coming from a place to say, I'm setting up a sacred space, and I'm going to be open, and I'm going to share with you what I have in a way that's open to the outcome, as well as there's a sense of knowing that comes from the thousands and thousands of hours that you've spent working on bodies and connecting with them.
Yes. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
One of the reasons that I'm here, because there are no accidents.
True.
There aren't. And I believe I may have shared this with you, however I didn't share it with y'all. I was back in the valley, in the Roaring Fork Valley actually, in September, and was to only stay for 10 days, I think I had planned. And everyone's like, why are you going back? I'm like, I don't know, because I have to. And so I did. And
you went back to
Illinois. Yeah, I grew up in the suburbs outside of Chicago. Chicago. So I basically rarely get massages because I work on myself. And I was scheduled for a session in Cedar Edge and received a phone call on the day of the service stating that the therapist was ill. And I started, I'm like, well, because I'm staying up in Austin, and I thought, I'll just look for a place, down valley. And this came up, Wellspring Vitality, and I started looking at the therapist, and I selected Hillary.
Good selection.
It was a great selection, and I did some recognizance on you, and
recon. Wow.
I did, and you had really good reviews. So, and when you and I spoke, I always trust divine timing, and quite honestly, I was blown away at, when I came in here, I'm thinking, this is just bizarre. Like, truly, this is a gem somewhere where it should not be a gem. Right?
I always tell people, if it works in Hotchkiss, it'll work anywhere.
Exactly, and it will. And the more layers that are peeled away from knowing this one, I'm just more blown away. I've never had the honor of being with someone that is so kind and so generous. And
I'm blushing.
No, for real. I've read your card. She gets me a birthday card. She doesn't even know me. She got me a birthday card and a gift. And I've been reading that card.
I might never do it again. I'm not usually good with that.
You may not, and that's okay because you're covered for about a decade. But it's just the most beautiful card. And why here? Because why not?
Well, and I went out to dinner with a friend on Friday night, and he's been using some services here at Wellspring, and he said, it's amazing. This is a human performance lab. And,
Totally.
And I think that's part of why you were kind of destined and also drawn to come here, because there's something that's bigger than all of us. That's what we're all creating here.
Covered in my goosebumps.
That's what we're all creating here together. And everyone who comes to the team plays an integral role. And so it's great. Well, tell me more about, because you've come up with, over time, and all the things that you've studied fascia deeply for years. You've
7 years.
You've worked thousands and thousands of hours, whether it be in a clinical or hospital setting or working on clients.
Events.
And just, so in that, you've experienced the evolution of your work to where you've synthesized all that information, you've and had hands-on to be able to test your hypotheses about different things about fascia and how it moves. And I'm going to share about my experience here in just a little bit, but How did that evolve? You know, and I think that's one thing that we forget as human beings is that we were all designed and created to really come up with our own thing. So how did that happen for you?
I've always been someone that seeks parallels since I was a little girl. I'm still the same way. Actually, those that know me probably get annoyed with me more than they share because I'm always asking why. It's like I'm 2 years old.
I kind of do that too.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you have to be an out of the box thinker, right? And so I was educated clinically. And what I noticed was from the very first individual who presented on my table, I always attract, no matter where I am, people that have chronic pain. And it's normally decades upon decades upon decades that they've been dealing with this, and the stories are, similar and everything. And what I started noticing was that I'm like, okay, if these are trigger points, right? If I press here on your upper trap with my elbow and you don't have a satellite referral, then
And by
why
satellite
is that?
referral, you mean pain that goes someplace else?
Yes. I keep hitting you. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
See, I'm like a 2-year-old. So I had the blessing of working exclusively with musicians. People often ask, Lori Lynn, why musicians? Well, I grew up with them. I'd been in sound pits from the time I was young, and I know what they like, and I would know how to, get in
Mix the
there,
sound.
so to speak. So anyway, working with the musicians, they really taught me because I would watch them perform. Because when you're working exclusively with musicians, you're there from load-in to the end of the show. They were 12-hour days.
No wonder there's some chronic pain there.
Right?
Because you get back on the road and do it again.
Get back on the road and you do it again, and any performer, doesn't matter if they're in, music, if they're, painters, whatever, they're going to have repetitive stress that the body retains. So with musicians, what I started noticing was that their symptomology and the way that the inflammation moved through the body was as unique as their instrument of choice, all the way down to the voice. And then from there, I was led to hospice. Actually, no, I lied. Unintentionally, of course. They're
Gotta keep you on the straight and narrow here on Vitality Vibes. That's what we're doing.
Totally. I was hired by someone that was an incest abuse survivor. And her father was, he was not a nice man. She hired me exclusively. Her and my sessions would always be at least 3 hours. She was brilliant in the regard that I could speak out loud to share what my brain was trying to process, and she would provide feedback. And then her and I helped her transition. She was plagued with chronic back pain and headaches, and I helped her transition within 8 months to a state of not healing, but that was also clearing things from the trauma, because the body remembers. Right?
And so you do energy work as well, right?
I do. I studied energy healing after my mom's meningioma. By default, I had an art gallery. A healer walks in, and his then partner, who was a granite sculptor, and a month later, 2 weeks later, I'm on a plane going to Norway. And I lived with them for 30 days, and his primary mentor trained Barbara Brennan, who is the science behind energy medicine. In Norway, it was part of their medical structure. It's called hands-on healing.
Nice.
I haven't really found anything that rivals that. I've was like, well, maybe I should get certified in this, but it doesn't matter, right? And it's also through what I figured out about working with the musicians and the way that the inflammation moves and patterns within the body, and then doing hospice work, right? Because that was where I was led after I worked with my woman exclusively. I started dabbling in a light pressured approach. So essentially what manual inflammation releases is it's crazy deep tissue. It's been compared to rolfing. However, there's no pain and there's no recovery. And within a preeminent medical institution of where I worked, I was known as the hard cases girl. So the things that the doctors could not solve, they'd end up on my table. And it's just been, I have it now where it's become even more subtle in its approach and more effective.
Well, I've received the work myself. I've had 2 sessions now, right? 2.
3.
3. Oh,
Wow,
yeah,
the
3.
Other one, the
no,
other
you're
one
right.
doesn't, well, actually 4.
I think I've had 3. We'll go back and
That
review
doesn't
it.
matter.
But
3, 4,
I have
whatever.
had 3 because I had 2 within almost 24 hours.
Yes.
And the thing that I felt was a totally new approach to myofascial, and an understanding of the fascial chains, where things refer to, and it's really helping me. I have some work still to do on my rehab from doing too much work.
No,
So I'm putting this on film. I'm not going to do that anymore.
she's not.
And but it was profound, and really just very quickly started to reverse the pain pattern that was starting to feel overwhelming. And I do not suffer from chronic pain. I have some issues I'm trying to work out and trying to improve, and I can't, just having pain for a few weeks is way too much for me. Like, I am too much of a wimp to handle that, plus I'm using my body to work. So your work was really effective, and I know it's been, I mean, do you have maybe just one highlight reel story that you could tell us of somebody that came in, maybe you were even a little doubtful, like, can I really help them? Maybe not. But then what happened and what transpired? Where did they start, and where did they get to with you?
I want to share a story because really, truly, this is something that I'm unbelievably proud of. I wanted to manifest Steven Tyler, the lead singer from Aerosmith.
You guys are lucky, because I was just about ready to stick out my tongue, but I'm holding back. Okay, go ahead.
Why were you going to stick out your tongue?
Isn't that what he did in concert all the time?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think so.
I have no idea.
I think so.
All I know is I heard him sing and it broke my heart. And so I started manifesting him. I had his picture on my refrigerator, and every morning I'd get up and be like, "Good morning, Steven. It's so good to see you."
Wow. Okay.
Right? I'm so grateful.
serious.
I'm serious. I'm so grateful that you're on my table. However, I learned some things about manifesting, because he didn't come to me through my brilliant manifesting skills, right? He came to me through another therapist, but his package was the only one that was returned to me. I sent out 5 packages. And
What do you mean, packages?
well, packages, I chose 5 of the top in their various categories, like the top operatic singer. They were
So you were
ones in
offering
actor.
them your services.
Offering my services, and hey, if it doesn't work, no, what's that saying? No harm, no foul. And yeah, so then I knew it was him. I called one of my girlfriends when I went to sign the NDA. And by the way, I can say that I worked on them. I just can't share other things. So I was telling my friend, I said, it's him. She's like, Lord, it's not him. I go, I'm telling you, it's him. Because all I knew was it was a VIP. Kept canceling. Then rescheduling, then canceling, then rescheduling. I'm like, geez, but pick a time and stay with it. Like, seriously, just pick a time and stay with it. And when I'm there with his personal assistant and I look down at the NDA and I see his name, I'm like, took a really deep breath.
The fangirl inside of you. It wasn't really a fangirl, right? It was, you were like, I really want to work on this body.
Right? Because I had these cases that kept displaying where people returning saying, oh my gosh, I don't know what you did, but I can sing again in the shower. And then I was helping out he's a jazz musician that I've known since I was 17, 18, I don't remember, because my cousin Danny, he was a brilliant sound engineer, used to work with Ramsey Lewis, and yeah, so I knew Henry, and Henry says, hey, Laura, I need a favor. I think he calls me LS. He's like, hey, LS, I need a favor. I go, sure. So he had this woman that was an operatic singer transitioning to jazz. She had a really bizarre accident where a scarf got caught in a cab window as she was exiting.
Ugh.
Right? And anyway, I didn't know really what I was doing, but I've always had an audience where they trusted me so implicitly because I'm always forthright. It's like, hey, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to work when I get new cases, whatever. I don't know. I don't know until I know. So I knew that I could help him. And when I looked down at that NDA and it was actually him, and then he shows up and I worked on him solely on his throat for 3.5 hours. It lasted 6 years.
Wow.
6 years. That's one of my favorite.
You're saying that working relationship lasted for 6 years?
No. I'm saying his singing, because he lost. If you listen to Steven Tyler perform before the third leg of his global warming tour in 2012 when he was in Chicago, that's when I worked on him. If you were to listen to him prior to that, and you need to listen to Dream On because that's where his range has the most variance. And then you listen to it after the third leg of his global warming tour in June of 2012, that's my work.
Wow.
It's crazy cool. But that one really, truly just, because I'll never forget when I was breaking down my table and I see him standing in front of the mirror, like feeling his throat, like what the heck just happened? And I've always been someone who's incredibly self-effacing, which, yeah, I think is why now I really embrace, and I'm really honored and proud, really, and grateful for this work that I just so adore, and the variance and the broad range of people that I've been able to help is just, it's a profound gift. Doesn't get any better.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm excited about is that you're going to be entering the credentialing process to work on vets.
I am, and I can't wait.
And so there's a lot of chronic pain there.
A lot of chronic pain.
And a lot of
emotional.
Emotional, chemical exposures, so many layers. And so it's going to be really exciting to have you in that capacity. And then I just wanted to speak briefly about something that's new at Wellspring. We're practicing underneath it, but we haven't really unveiled it to the world. So if you've made it this far, here's a quick rundown of the way that we're curating our massage therapists. So I always tell people I am so picky about the people that are here. They really need to be world class. But we are creating massage therapy tiers. So we have our practitioner, we have our expert level, our master level, and our sensei level. And Lori is our first to be at the sensei level. I am at a master level. Several of our other great massage therapists are at expert level. And we're creating the tiers so that we as massage therapists, we could easily just go to work every day, do the same thing that we do, and not have any place to go. So we wanted to give all of us a place to go, something to shoot for. And we do have one therapist at our practitioner level, and she is so, Katie Snyder is so amazing. She's very quickly going to pop out of that level, probably within a year or so. But so many different body workers, so many different skills coming to you, and we love to refer to one another. I can say, I've done this with you, and I really think it'd be good for you to either do acupuncture, go see Andrew from myofascial. How about get a session with Lori Lynn, because she's going to take your fascia to the next level. And so it's really important to me that we are doing this work where we're either helping you, this is holistic wellness, right? So we're either going to help you prevent pain, we're going to provide pain remedy, and then we're going to really help you with your performance. That's what we're doing here. Like, you help someone sing better, and there's so many things that we can do to really stir up other people's love, stir up other people's gifts, and that's what good body work and good self-care does for you. So really excited that we can have you as a part of the team. You're offering something totally world-class, a treasure, and I know that this community is going to embrace you, and we're never going to let you go.
Yay!
Well, unless you want to. But
you can find me in the back room. Never mind the chains.
Ooh, okay. Well, I might duct tape you to the wall, but no chains.
No, I would rather have chains than duct tape. That would be.
But is there anything else that you'd like to add? Maybe what people can expect in a session?
So I am I feel when we know better, we do better. And so I'm very big on, I don't like dependency in any context.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. So
you're not trying to get clients to have to come see you so that they can be better. You're going to try to help them get better and empower them. Is that what you're saying?
I'm all about empowering, and because I feel we all have the gift to heal.
Yes, we are healing machines.
Absolutely, that's the design of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always my objective, and it's my intention. And if I can't help someone transition in 3 to 6 sessions, depending on how old it is or the caliber of trauma, then there's an emotional tie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
So you can blend, you may be blending that into a session, but then you might offer a more focused session on how can we help break through the emotions.
Yes.
So when I was on the table, the first time with you, I had an emotional release, and I went to a totally different place. I mean, when you brought me up out of the session, I was kind of unsure of where I was for a second, but in the best way, of having released so many different things just through the opening up of my fascia. I mean, fascia, I've been studying it, you've been studying it a lot, but at my level, I've been learning that our fascia holds our memories, our traumas, and our emotions. And it has 10 times more neurons, correct me if I'm wrong, but 10 times more neurons than our brain and our spinal cord, our nervous system. And it is, to me, the future of medicine, I used to say, was frequency.
Oh, frequency, I still believe that.
I do too, but I'm adding fascia. Fascia and frequency. Yeah. If we can get your fascia detoxed, mineralized, and hydrated, and we can get adhesions opened up, and we can connect you to your emotions with that, and then we can add in frequency to do the work that it does to heal the body, we have a whole nother playing field. Totally. We might not need the other medical system except for, and of course you need that medical system to help guide you along that path. I am in no way poo-pooing any medical systems. No medical systems were poo-pooed in the making of this video. But
she's better than I am, because boy, I have a hard time with that.
But
just being honest.
And then we have, being body workers, we have people who come into the room constantly and say, I don't trust the system. I've got to find other answers. Yeah. And thankfully, people have been working on these other answers. And body work is a part of it. I was listening to a brain surgeon, a pretty enlightened brain surgeon, and he was talking to a rolfer. And he said, I feel like you know as much as I do about the body, and that you're going into the body in the same way that I go without having to cut it open. And we are evolving right now in medicine. And so I'm going to stop talking. But anyway, I'm passionate about fascia. and frequency. And we're going to be bringing more and more of that here. And you're an integral part of that. The way that you work with fascia and energy is going to bring so much healing. So, anything else you want to say?
No, just that I cannot wait to see what we create
Yes.
together and how many people we're going to help.
Yeah. This is
so cool.
Makes me so happy.
And me so happy too.
So
beyond happy.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Okay. Well, on that musical note, we are
That's why we are body workers and not singers.
Yeah. Hey, wait a second.
I know. That was rude.
Nobody is paying me to sing. It's true. All right. So we're gonna
shades of red.
We are going to go ahead and close out yet another episode of Vitality Vibes. Thank you so much for sticking all the way through, and jump online and book a session with Laura. You will not regret